Yo, yo, yo. That was a little clip from Seasoning, just something I had queued up. I thought that would be fun to just click. But anyway, welcome to Zombie Time Music Hour, friends. What's going on? So I have been in the studio, like deep in the studio, every day in the studio. I have not been doing a good job of documenting the process. No social media. I haven't had the phone in there at all. I Two things happen when I'm doing social media when I'm trying to record. One, I spend a lot of time on the phone, not necessarily interacting with social media, but trying to get shots and trying to set up the camera and doing all the bullshit. And then two, uh unless I actually like sit down immediately and start propping out that content, then I don't do anything with it. I already have a bunch of me in the studio on my phone that I haven't put out. So I don't know. So maybe I need to like make time to do like social media time in the studio and then be done with it and like do the whole thing, like film a thing, whatever. Anyway, none of this matters. Or maybe it does matter because this is where zombie time has a little bit of like, I guess you can consider that like an overlap with touch grass, right? Talking about a little bit of my personal creator economy problems. Um, so yeah, not great about documenting the studio process, at least on the social media way. What I have been great about documenting is I've been writing a lot, meaning like writing about the songs. I've been thinking about like what went into writing them. I've been thinking about the studio and the production and really analyzing the music. And the music is getting very close to finished as far as like the album itself. It's going to be a really cool, exciting. I'm really excited about this album. It's something I've been sitting on for a while. And what's cool is a lot of the tracks, the recordings are older, but I'm coming at it with the lyrics and the mixing years later. So I haven't done any vocal recording yet, at least not any that I'm keeping. I've started experimenting, but I haven't done any vocal recording yet, and I haven't done any um like and I've done all the mixing, but I did all the mixing now, and I actually was thinking about going back to re-record some things, and I was like, no, like it'll sound too different. It'll sound very different if I go back and layer tracks. And I was really into this simple, almost everything has one track to it. So the only thing I'd want to redo is drums. And then I remembered that, like, wait, I don't even have this drum set anymore. So I don't want to re-record the drums either because this drum set is this drum set, and this is the only album I'm ever going to have on this drum set because only whatever songs have been recorded on it are on it, and it's not the same drum set that's on Blood and Honey, so this will be slightly different. But so I gave myself the restriction that anything I don't like about the tracks I have to fix, and that is kind of a fun and cool restriction. And then besides that, I'm adding new vocals. Like when I first wrote this, there was no plan to be vocals, but now I'm feeling it. I'm feeling like there should be. Um, what else? So I've been in the studio going back and forth between mixing and fixing tracks and being creative too. There's a lot of creativity in my production. I love to get into the mix. I love to get into delays and making sure that volumes are right. And I'm going to share some of this with you. So this show is going to be a little weird, and I haven't really figured out how I should approach this. The way we're going to do today's show is partially I'm going to show you the album. I am going to give you a preview of the album as it is. And last week I was showing you some behind the curtain stuff, but this week, what happened last week, I messed up a little bit, and there's a recording maybe that I should drop, but the recording is actually 2 hours because I was recording an entire hour before I went live last week. So there's another version where it has the zombie time credits like this and stuff like that, but it also has you can see my Ableton. So like last week, sorry for that. Y'all got a little bit of a boring view of just me walking around when you should have seen what I was clicking on the screen as well. Sorry. So tonight I can show you a little bit of that stuff while we're doing that part of the album. The album is very short though. So this is a conceptual thing, and every song on it is under a minute. So it wouldn't take me long to show you this album. I could do some more of my own music afterwards as a follow up. The other thing though is I'm releasing this album through Beatsxyz.app, which is a Web3 music platform that's integrated with Lens. And I'm going to be dropping all 9 of these songs with them. I'm hoping to start this like very soon. I'm thinking actually I need to put a deadline on this and just say that this is going to happen the first week of April. How about that? Boom. I just said it. You got the alpha. If you're here, you know, first week of April, I'll start dropping on Beatsxyz.app. That's going to be 9 weeks of drops, I think, because I have 9 songs. I'm going to drop 1 song every week. If you've been here at Zombie Time, which I'm sure a lot of you have, you've already heard these songs, and I'm hoping that you enjoy this and you really want to show your boy some support. I'm also thinking that besides releasing these songs individually on Beats, that I may do the entire album on Ethereum Layer 1, or I don't know. I have to think about how I'd want to do that. But I like the idea. So when you hear the songs individually, it's very cool. But as you're going to hear them tonight, um, I like both ways, because when you hear them individually, they each are given their own space. And what I mean by that is that when you hear them as a whole, they overlap. There's some delays that overlap into other songs. So there's a slight difference in that, basically in the transition, which is a big deal, to me at least. Like that, actually, it is a big deal because some songs end with a delay that's a slightly different speed than the rhythm of the next song. So when you have that rhythmic overlap, there is definitely kind of like either a syncopation or a lack of rhythm where these things like overlap. And in some cases, when the things are changing speeds, it's a bit of both. You can have a band where it's actually out of rhythm. I love this shit though. Like, I love arrhythmic music. I love atonal music. I really love exploring the idea of sound and tone. And this album was fun in that way because the limitation of minimal tracks. Each song has very few tracks as far as like layers of instruments. I tried not to double track any guitars or anything like that. I tried to keep everything very minimal, work with the tracks you have. And then the songs are also very short, being only under a minute, because they were supposed to fit in an Instagram post. That was the original concept behind this. Was it was made for social media. So each song would have to fit in this area. But that limitation, you still say, well, I'm not just going to create a bunch of loops. I'm going to create a song within these limitations. And that was the exploration. And I'm not done. So having a good time with it. So what are we going to do first? Should I show you beats first and then save the album for later? Or should I start the album now and show you kind of my Ableton stuff? Or, this is a tough question. So one thing about Beats is that I wasn't able to make a playlist. So I just have to like play whatever music is in my feed. So if people are dropping music right now during Zombie Time, that stuff is going to be played first. So I actually don't even know until I hit refresh on the page what we're going to be hearing first. But I'm getting from the audience that we should start with Zombie Time, since it is Zombie Time. Let's get into it, fam. So how are we going to do this? let's first share my Aave screen. I mean, not Aave. Let's first share my Ableton screen. How are we going to do this? So this is the album. This is it. You're looking at it. What do we have here? Let's try to like zoom out. Tell you a little bit behind the curtain Wizard of Oz stuff here. So let's see. This is this one right here. Matter of fact, I should color this to make it easier on me. So let's color this one. Oh, come on. Don't tell me you're going to freeze on me. You know what? It doesn't matter. I shouldn't color this because I'm not working on this. This isn't the computer I'm going to finish it on, so it doesn't really matter if I change the color, right? All right, so this is the guitars right here. So as you can see, like I said, there's not a lot of overlaps or there's not a lot of layered tracks. You can see here, this little part is layered, but I think no, that is a different take. So, but that's just this little one part of a song where I layered the guitars to get more to get volume, but I do like the dissonance between the two. This one is heavily layered. So this is like 3 or 4 different takes of the same track because I really liked so many of the different takes. And one of the takes was actually like full of mistakes, but they were mistakes that I really loved. And I was like, okay, that should live in the background. But as you can see, most of this stuff, like these down here are inactive. Anything in yellow is active. So mostly these tracks are being used. So yeah, like I said, not a lot of layers on the guitars. The guitars are really 7, 8, and 9 have a little bit of layering. These are, what's funny actually is the songs with the most layers in the guitars are actually the songs that have they're the quietest. They were like the most acoustic songs. They're not heavy songs. And then the heavy songs are very punk rock, one guitar, one drummer. Yeah. So, I'm aware that you cannot see my cursor, and that's why I'm kind of like highlighting rows when I talk. If you can see what's changing color, then you kind of know what I'm talking about. I should have clarified that. And I can also highlight sections. So what you're seeing here is this is song 1. This is song 2. This is song 3. There's no guitar. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then 9 is about there. So that's all the guitar. Then we have, these are some samples. These are actually guitars as well, but they're heavily bit crushed. And I did some erosion, some weird delay stuff. Like I said, I like to use production as an instrument. And that's what you can see going on here with these guitar tracks is some heavy production. Let's see, what is this? These are samples here. Oh, you see this bastard? It's going to like... This version of Ableton won't acknowledge some of my samples. So if you see this here, it's saying sample offline. So that song and this song are going to be missing samples. Thank you. Anyway, these are mix downs of the entire album where I was just mixing it down so I could go listen to it in the car and stuff like that. As you can see, like there's lots of volume difference between this first track and the second one. You can see that everything's more even here, but these are old mix downs. So I've been working on the album a long time since then. Let me pan back up for a second. So these 5 tracks are all drum takes. So this is song number 1, 2, 5, and 6 on the drums. This is songs 2 and 3 on the drums. And I know I just said 2, but that's because 2 has double tracked cymbals on it. Have some fun with some weird production. This one also has number 2 and 4. So there's triple tracked cymbals on number 2. And then this is the drums for number 5. If I zoom in, you can kind of see a little bit of my process here. So this is the resonator side of the bass drum. This is the kick batter side of the bass drum. So this is where the mallet hits the hammer, and the other side is a microphone in the hole to kind of catch that side of it as well. So double mic the bass. This is my snare. As you can see, I go through and cut all of the tape, as much tape as I can. And I could go back and like do this tighter if I wanted, but this was a quick cut. But yeah, I cut around the snare to keep it like tight and punctual sounding. And then these are my overheads. And actually, on some of the songs, I do double takes of overheads because it'll be these are my left and right condensers. And then I have some where I also used an external condenser, like the Tascam stereo recorder. And it does give a good tone, but it's a little bit of a pain as far as like, then I have to put those tracks in and line them up and the whole thing. It's like, a lot of additional work to get those 2 little extra mics when they're actually much lower quality than the ones I'm using anyway. Like this is one you can see here where I've got the Tascam recording as well. All right. So, and then besides that, like I said, minimal tracks. So what else do we have? We have bass synthesizers. That's what you can see here is this MIDI. We got some bass synthesizers. We got a kick drum. These are some opening drums here. And these are bass synthesizers, all this down here. All right. So I've talked about it enough. Are y'all ready to hear some music? The answer is yes. You're boring the shit out of us. I'm not even on the 402 today. So this actually isn't even, this is just like the alpha right here. I'm telling you right now that like, I'm going to be dropping this album a couple weeks from now. I'm going to start dropping this album. So this is the alpha information, and I'm really going to give like more in depth about the production, and you don't even know what the theme of the album is and the story or any of that stuff. You're just going to kind of get a taste here because like I said, there's not even any lyrics or song titles, or you don't even know the name of the album. You just know it's coming. So I appreciate you all being here, friends. It is Zombie Time Music Hour with your boy, Zombie Shepherd, and of course on visuals, your boys Z-Fi, Hex Z-Fi, my friendly co-host with the most from all the shows. And be on the lookout because we're always getting better and always leveling up. And yeah, there's so much going on. I'm not even going to spoil it, Don't talk about your plans, just do it. So let's listen to some music. Like I said, we're going to do some of this, and then we're going to get into just what's happening on Beatsxyz in general, get familiar with the platform. I was looking around, and it doesn't look like they have a dark mode, so put on your sunglasses when I switch over to that. But other than that, LFG, friends. It doesn't sound right, and I don't know if it's me. Look, if things don't go right, we'll come back to it and we'll do it again. But hey, if you're in the chat, first of all, I want to start doing this with all the shows, but like if you're in the chat, say what's up, y'all. I don't know who's hanging out. Say GM, drop a GM, say hello, tell me what you're doing. But most of all, if shit is going wrong, if the audio is bad, give me like as much feedback as you possibly can, because if you give me a clear description of what's going wrong, I might be able to fix it on the fly, because that's what a good audio engineer does. So right now, my major concern is that this isn't going to be loud enough. My other concern is that it might be clicking. So if anyone in the audience is able to give me some good feedback, I would appreciate it. And then just now that sounded a little bit low and slow for me, but we'll see what happens. If it's playing slow, then I'm going to have to switch to a different version, because that means that this isn't going to work, because I'm playing from a version that's on an external hard drive. But this computer's a beast and it should work just fine. Let's do it. What do you mean you're not feeling it anymore? There's nothing telling me that you haven't felt anything before. Put your finger on me, knowing I can't take much more. But when I say I feel, you've never felt anything before. And why should I be left with these things that you put in my head? These memories that you still breathe slowly. I live for never meet again. Your memory I'll carry until we meet out there. Until we meet out. All right, all right, all right. So that first part was obviously the album I was telling you about with the 9 short songs. So if you were listening and you were tuned in for that, go ahead and tell me, reach out to me, DMs on Lens, on Discord, Telegram, wherever you know me from. If you got my phone number, you can text me. But tell me what you think about those. Like I said, you have an incomplete vision. You don't know the name of the album. You don't know the lyrics. You don't know anything about it really, but you did hear it. So that's enough. And that really is the core of the work. So there's a lot of icing to put on that cake, but you heard it. And then obviously you heard Blood and Honey there, which is, you're familiar with that already. Probably, if you've been listening, I've played that one a few times. And it's also collectible on Lens, which is in the show notes if you are. I just realized also our show title is pretty funny tonight. It's Block Party with GMI Zombie Time Music Hour. Let me go ahead and correct that as much as I can. It won't fix it everywhere, but it is what it is. Anyway, so yeah, it's like Ultra Mega Voltron Show 5000. So we're going to get to the Beatsxyz play, but I figure while I got Ableton and I got the screen open, I might as well play you another alpha track, something in the future. Don't know when I'm going to release this. Don't know if it's finished or if I'll be doing more work to it. Oh, wait, no. I kind of know when I am releasing this. This is part of an album I'm working on. So I released the single, Blood and Honey, right? You're familiar. Now I'm doing this short album that is, while it's really 9 short songs, the album itself is really only twice the length of Blood and Honey. So I've given you a single. Now I'm doubling the length of music. And then I'm going to later this year drop an album that is like easily 45 minutes long. And every song on it is long. Like I think the shortest song on it might be like 10 minutes. So I'm gearing you up for what I'm into, which is like I like long songs. I like things to get weird. Like I was listening to this like maybe it was an Instagram reel, and this guy was talking about how much, it's impressive what people can do with music. You can see these virtuosic players really impress you in 60 seconds. But what did he say? His exact words were, there's this one album I really love, and the drummer doesn't even come in until 2 minutes and 45 seconds into the song. And he does it with this drum fill, and it's just amazing. And the way it feels, you can't recreate that in 60 seconds. You just can't give context. And he's so right. And so I love things that build up. I love to have space to explore. You got to have space in order to really explore music. Um, but the funny part too about that Instagram reel is I realized, like, dude, you're talking about In the Air Tonight. Come on. What other song? I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of other songs. If you listen into like Journey and stuff like that, you could probably find some songs like that. But still, like the way he said it, it came in with this simple drum fill. It's like, dude, everybody knows In the Air Tonight. Half the song is over before the drums come in. And it's amazing. All right. Anyway, so one more song from me. This one is currently called Garden Party, and it is actually something I designed in spatial audio. I wanted this song to be something that envelops you in a very like three-dimensional way, like 5.1 ish, and even more so if I could do it. Like I would love to have a gallery space where I could explore spatial audio in a truly like not three-dimensional way. That's a little too much. I don't need 360 speakers around you. But if I could get like, I don't know, maybe like 8.4. Give me 8.4. I'll fuck your mind up. Are you listening, sponsors? Let's do this. All right, one more song from me, and then we're going to get into beats. Well, y'all, I'm realizing that I've kind of used up the whole hour with my own music, and we didn't even. It's a little lower than the music. I'll give it a second. All right, friends. So I just realized I kind of used up the whole hour. I thought my short album would not use up the whole hour, but apparently I did a lot more than just the short hour. But anyway, so I might as well like play you one more by me and not even worry about the Beats app because there's not enough time. You know, we've only got like 10 minutes and shit, we might not even get through this next song if I don't start right now. So yeah, I'll explain these songs more later, but you're seeing these. The reason things look so simple, if you think this looks simple, is because these are actually mix downs from another file so that I could work in here. This says ETH Denver set list. So this was actually meant to be for a live set list where like I would take out certain elements so that I could perform live over the other backing tracks. Anyway, one more and then GMI syncopator.